everybody, welcome back. Thank you for spending your time with me. Now, okay, let's continue with the Emma and Megan interview. But first of all, let me just say that I have never before seen such BS, except for the Oprah interview. Well, pretty much every time Megan opens her mouth, but there was something about this particular interview that just got to me. It just sits differently, and I cannot quite put my finger on it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I find this particular interview a little scary. There's something about Megan's actions, her facial expressions, which is just a little over the top. I don't know, but I'm doing this interview in parts because I could not stand listening to it all in one sitting. And each time I came back to it, I felt the exact same way. Each time I looked at Megan, I had this thought running through my head. This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. Well, let's continue with where we left off. So they were talking about being in the spotlight, the focus on how you look and what you're wearing, etc., etc. And Megan obviously said that it did not bother her. She realized it came with the territory. But once her children were being followed and what they were wearing was being monetized, that is where she became uncomfortable. Oh, seriously? When? Where? We've not seen any proper photographs of the children. The only photographs I can recall where one can make out the clothing would be Lily's first birthday. And recently in the Father's Day video, there was one clip of Lily from behind where you could see her pretty dress. That's about it. I honestly cannot recall one single photograph of Lily taken by a paparazzi or the press. There was a few of Archie when they were still working royals, but that is it. All these blurred or back-of-the-head photographs were taken and published by Megan herself. So what on earth is she talking about? If anyone has seen Lily or Archie's clothing being sold, advertised, or in any way monetized somewhere, please let me know, because I have not seen it, and definitely not since they moved to California, and that was before Lily was born. However, Megan did advertise a British brand and dresses worn by Charlotte on her Shop My page. Honestly, I do not profess to be any kind of mental health professional, but Megan has now apparently decided to take things which she had done and put it on others. That's the only way I can explain it. I honestly do not know what to say. First, Megan lived in this medieval fairy tale princess story where she thought that with one wave of her hand she could go off with their heads. She believed that as a princess she could yell and scream and shout at her servants, that they should be at her beck and call 24/7. Well, when that didn't work, she morphed into Diana, not only trying to copy her clothing and wear her jewelry, but even trying to copy her expressions, her body language, all the way down to trying to hug and kiss children. But where the children naturally flocked to Diana and now Catherine, they shied away from Megan. Anyway, Megan's persona have become so many, so convoluted, that I firmly believe that she finds it hard to differentiate between what is real and what is not. I have no idea what is causing this degeneration in her personality. Is it a natural thing? Was she born with mental defects, or was it a learned thing due to the way she grew up? Or are the use of substances now causing damage to her brain, causing her not to be able to distinguish between fact and fiction? I truly don't know, but maybe there's someone amongst the lot of you who's a professional and who may have a better idea than I do. Emma asked Megan, not in the same words but with the same meaning, that as they are into writing books, making reality series, and now this retail endeavor and social media, is there anything where they would draw the line? Because basically being involved in so many things, it appears that Megan is actually trying to build an empire. Well, Megan does not answer the question, but lapses into these metaphors among which she says she knows she's building a plane while flying it. Once again, not a Meghan Markle original. It is a saying often used in lectures and pep talks about business, and in particular start-up businesses. As Connor Skelly said, the phrase is a cliche in Silicon Valley, and he refers to software being sent out before all the wrinkles are smoothed out, because they have this method where they send it out with a few glitches and then they publish an update, and which you then have to pay for. So they fly the plane before it's fully built. Okay, but it's all the same thing, okay? And that's what it basically originally referred to. Now Megan is using it for her own business, which is by no means all smoothed out. But anyway, Megan also talks at length about her investment portfolio, how she is backing women. She also talks about clever brands, but the delusion is real, my friends. She certainly thinks she is this big mogul, this multi-billion-dollar investor, but she may be clear on that. I don't think anyone else is. Oh, and please also remember that everything old Megsy is working on is an extension of her values. Yeah, I mean, we saw those pole dancer, yacht girl values in that twerking video, didn't we? Also, an extension of her taste. Gosh, no, white on beige on white, I guess. She says she values thoughtfulness. Oh, my word, I nearly gagged. Was she in any way thoughtful when her father, was sick? Was she in any way thoughtful when Prince Philip was virtually on his deathbed? And last but not least, was she even a little thoughtful when the Queen passed? No, she once again tried to make it all about her, causing drama when Charles said she could not come to Balmoral, and delaying Harry so he too was late to see his grandmother and join his family in the first stages of mourning. Now tell me, what does Meghan consider thoughtfulness? Elbowing her husband and other people out of the way when she wants to be in front? Is that her idea of thoughtfulness? I actually was taught that it was rude to bump people or elbow them, but anyway, I do not know about you. That is how I was taught. Oh, and playfulness. She so values playfulness. Now, I've never heard business and playfulness mentioned in the same sentence, unless you are running some kind of theme park or a carnival, or when you are selling yourself as a yacht girl. okay? Or, something similar. Now, Emma asks Megan whether she would do something just for the money. And Megan says, oh, she had turned down lots of offers because it did not align with her values. Yes, I wonder what offers were those. We all know Megan is about money, 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 money. Any way she can get her grubby talons on it. She actually said so herself, saying that she's on her way to become a billionaire. I mean, one pot of jam at a time. Then Megan talks about Melody Hobson. Melody is married to George Lucas, the filmmaker, CEO, and she's CEO of Ariel Investments, blah, blah, blah. Well, Emma tells Megan that Melody was her first guest on her podcast. And immediately, Megan jumps in with how much she loves Melody and it actually sounds like Megan and Melody actually know each other well. So I went and looked it all up. Yes, in 2021, Megan participated in the New York Times Deal Book Summit. Although Megan appeared in person, it was an online summit. The portion in which Megan made her appearance was called Minding the Gap. Melody Hobson, however, did not appear in person, but via video link. Andrew Ross Sorkin was the interviewer. So, I mean, imagine, at this point, I wanted to head for the hills. She then talks about her podcast, and again, she talks about her learns, and stumbles. And obviously, old Meg is making excuses for why she's not continuing the Lemonada podcast. Well, we all know the podcast soon even dropped out of the top 100. According to Mexi, she cannot continue with the podcast right now because she has to concentrate on her business. Selling jam and flour sprinkles. It sounds ridiculous, even just when I say it. And I truly lost my freaking mind when Megan gave that self-satisfied, I love myself so much type of grin and said, yeah, but I know, people, I know you want another one. I mean, that was talking about her Lemonada podcast. Well, no, Megan, people do not necessarily want another podcast. If they wanted another, then you would at least have made it to the top 100. But no, everyone was curious, and your first episode made it to the top 10, I think. But then everyone realized it is just more of the same, and it dropped down the ranks. I believe it even dropped below 200 at some point. So no, we're not sitting on the edge of our seats waiting for your next podcast, Megan. Not even your own sugars, otherwise your figures would have been better. Let that sink in. Okay, my dear God, save me. Honestly, I just couldn't take the time to go through the rest bit by bit. I listened through it and I just wrote some keywords down. Love packing lunches, staying creative, taking things personally because she's human. And then luckily the podcast was nearly ending because clearly Emma and Megan differed on a few things, and like you can't be a leader and want to be popular, and about learning from men who have a different attitude towards business. And then she carried on about looking through lenses, her favourite. Oy vey, my dear viewers, subscribers and listeners, to listen to this was almost traumatic. And one reaches the point where you stare at it in awe. You realize that every word out of Megan's mouth is either a lie or just pure nonsense. You realize that she does not have a clue about business, not even the basics, not even enough common sense to carry a business. This was the first time in a long, long time that I actually listened to one of Megan's monologues, because that's basically what it was, and I can truly say that there is no substance to anything she has to say. Nothing. It is an hour and a half, which could have been better spent doing something else. Okay, guys, I did not forget Prince William's 43rd birthday yesterday. I just took a day away from social media. I slept, I potted around the garden, moved a bookcase, and so on. So from my side, a happy belated birthday to Prince William. May there be many, many more. Okay, guys, off I go. By the grace of God, I will be back tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye.